Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for coming to my live. I am Queen Lillie, and I'm excited to be here today. It is what date is? Oh, God. Is it the 9th? I think it's November the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. And this is under Trump number 24, part 24, everything Donald Trump. That is what we're talking about. And y'all know Donald Trump is on the list to be talked about every day because, honey, he will be in that Oval Office coming January. So that's who we're talking about. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Also, again, I am Queen Lillie. Thank you all for coming to my live. If you would like for me to read your comments, you will have to send me a super chat and I will gladly read your comments. Thank each and every last one of you all. Also, if you would like to send me something, I have my YouTube link in the description. Click on the description and you can click on the I meant PayPal link. Click on the PayPal link and you can send me a donation or tip that way. Again, in my description, I have a PayPal link if you would like to send me something through PayPal. I have a PayPal link. Just click that link in the description and send me something if you like. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Life under Donald Trump. Just a moment, please. It's a little warm here. I forgot to turn that heat off, but I'll be okay. I'm going to have to make it work. So, yes, it's Life under Donald Trump, number 24, part 24. One moment, please.
Can you explain Trump's plan on tariffs for taxpayers?
He explains it perfectly. You all, I was watching the news and the news reporter asked Trump, will you be raising the prices on goods to Americans? Because she was talking about the tariffs. And Donald Trump, she said, can you promise the American people that the prices will not be raised because of your tariffs? And Donald Trump said, I cannot promise you that. He thinks he's clever by saying, I cannot promise you that. And so Mega gonna take it. He's not gonna raise the prices. The prices is gonna go up, y'all. Because if he's gonna put that 25% tariff on China, Canada, and Mexico, what we get from them, it's gonna cost more for us because on the tail end, we will pay for the tariffs. Yes, we will. It will go up. The prices will go up. Thank you for coming to my live. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much from India. Thank you so much. Thanks. Hi. So this next video we're going to watch, it is about Elon Musk. Nothing surprising me when it comes to Elon. Our second president.
Let me get this right. People pay for Social Security their entire lives through payroll taxes only for a South African billionaire immigrant to come along and tell those American citizens they aren't allowed to receive money from a system they paid into because he wants to be taxed less? So let me get this right. People pay for Social Security their entire lives through payroll taxes only for a South African billionaire immigrant to come along and tell those American citizens they aren't allowed to receive money from a system they paid into because he wants to be taxed less? So let me get this right. People pay for Social Security their entire lives through payroll taxes only for a South African.
Okay, so we have been paying into Social Security all of our adult lives and probably some of our teen lives. Well, Elon doesn't care about that. He came up here. He's not even a true citizen, and he was working when he came here for school, and he ain't supposed to be working. So when he applied for the kind of citizenship that he applied, which he doesn't have, he didn't supposed to be working. He couldn't work for himself, so he's not a true citizen. So okay. I see something there. I'll get to that part later. But anyway, so I'm gonna show you this video. Hold on, I'm reading something YouTube just sent me. Bear with me. YouTube just sent me a message. Please. I don't even know what they're talking about. I have to go and edit that out later. What are they talking about? So we're gonna go to the next
Republicans
video.
want to censor the word socialism from public school curriculum is because they want a bunch of kids that grow up into adults that believe that forcing healthcare companies to provide coverage to their customers is socialism. Most of these MAGA folks that are screaming about liberal indoctrination and socialism in public schools can't even give you a definition of what socialism is. You can be convinced that anything is socialist if you don't know what socialism actually is. This system that Republican lawmakers currently have that's lining their pockets is only sustainable if they know that they have generations of children that are going to grow up into people that don't understand that they're being taken advantage of. I don't necessarily believe that they think that teachers are actually trying to turn our children into socialists and communists, but I think they actually just don't even want them to understand the difference between socialism, communism, capitalism. They don't want us to teach our kids what the difference is between a democracy and an oligarchy. They don't want our kids graduating high school of voting age being able to recognize they live in an oligarchy that's run by healthcare CEOs and Elon Musk. The reason Republicans want to censor the word socialism from public school curriculum is because they want a bunch of kids that grow up into adults that believe that forcing healthcare companies to provide coverage to their customers is socialism. Most of these MAGA folks that are screaming about liberal indoctrination and socialism in public schools can't even give you a definition of what socialism is. You can be convinced that anything is socialist if you don't know what socialism actually is. This system that Republican lawmakers currently have that's lining their pockets is only sustainable if they know that they have generations of children that are going to grow up into people that don't understand that they're being taken advantage of. I don't necessarily believe that they think that teachers are actually trying to turn our children into socialists and communists, but I think they actually just don't even want them to understand the difference between socialism, communism, capitalism. They don't want us to teach our kids what the difference is between a democracy and an oligarchy. They don't want our kids graduating high school of voting age being able to recognize they live in an oligarchy that's run by healthcare CEOs and Elon Musk. The reason Republicans want to censor the word socialism from public school curriculum is because they want a bunch of kids that grow up into adults that believe that forcing healthcare companies to provide coverage to their customers is socialism. Most of these MAGA folks that are screaming about liberal indoctrination and socialism in public schools can't even give you a definition of what socialism is. You can be convinced that anything is socialist if you don't know what socialism actually is. This system that Republican lawmakers currently have that's lining their pockets is only sustainable if they know that they have generations of children that are going to grow up into people that don't understand that they're being taken advantage of. I don't necessarily believe that they think that teachers are actually trying to turn our children into socialists and communists, but I think they actually just don't even want them to understand the difference between socialism, communism, capitalism. They don't want us to teach our kids what the difference is between a democracy and an oligarchy. They don't want our kids graduating high school of voting age being able to recognize they live in an oligarchy that's run by healthcare CEOs and Elon Musk. The reason Republicans want to censor the word socialism from public school curriculum is because they want a bunch of kids that grow up into adults that believe that forcing healthcare companies to provide coverage to their customers is socialism. Most of these MAGA folks that are screaming about liberal indoctrination and socialism in public schools can't even give you a definition of what socialism is. You can be convinced that anything is socialist if you don't know what socialism actually is. This system that Republican lawmakers currently have that's lining their pockets is only sustainable if they know that they have generations of children that are going to grow up into people that don't understand that they're being taken advantage of. I don't necessarily believe that they think that teachers are actually trying to turn our children into socialists and communists, but I think they actually just don't even want them to understand the difference between socialism, communism, capitalism. They don't want us to teach our kids what the difference is between a democracy and an oligarchy. They don't want our kids graduating high school with voting age being able to recognize they live in an oligarchy that's run by healthcare CEOs and Elon Musk. The reason Republicans want to censor the word socialism from public school curriculum is because they want a bunch of kids that grow up into adults that believe that forcing healthcare companies to provide coverage to their customers is socialism. Most of these MAGA folks that are screaming about liberal indoctrination and socialism in public schools can't even give you a definition of what socialism is. You can be convinced that anything is socialist if you don't know what socialism actually is. This system that Republican lawmakers currently have that's lining their pockets is only.
I was just reading in the comments, they were saying that not just Republicans that, do that. Okay. That's your choice to think what you want to think.
One thing I kept hearing during election season was that the Biden administration and then the Kamala Harris campaign were not doing a good enough job explaining to the American people what a good job they had done, because they did a lot of really great things that were helping the American people that they just didn't get credit for, right? The thing is that they were shouting it from the rooftops. People heard it, they just didn't care. Do you want to know why they didn't care? It's because the Trump administration and the Republicans have understood something for a long time that the Democrats have not yet even begun to grapple with. And that is that nobody cares what good things you did. They care what bad things you're able to make it look like the other guys did. Think about it. Donald Trump spent the 4 years of his first administration promising to do great things that he never did. He promised to overhaul infrastructure and overturn Obamacare and replace it with some amazing healthcare plan that he never actually told us about. It was always 2 or 3 weeks away from being revealed. Always. What Trump actually did is that he spent 4 years raising money for himself, giving tax cuts to his rich friends that would never go away, letting whole chunks of the federal government languish in either corruption or just plain old incompetence, and otherwise setting time bombs and booby traps that, if he had the bad luck not to be reelected, would go off for whoever was next in office. For example, Donald Trump made a bunch of tax cuts during his first administration that he could not pay for, knowing that the slow moving effects on our economy would be disastrous, but that he wouldn't be around to see them. And he also didn't tell people that while he was giving them back more of their money, the tax cuts for the rich people were for keeps, the ones for the poor people had a time limit, and they would expire during the next guy's administration. You think people are going to have the attention span to remember that? Or are they just going to remember that, hey, I've got less money now than when Trump was president? At the end of the day, this is one of the biggest reasons why Trump and the Republicans have such a huge advantage and why they keep somehow winning, is that they are willing to sabotage the long-term health of the American government and the economy for quick sugar rushes that make the people happy enough that that's all they remember when it comes time to cast their vote. So as we do our postmortems and our finger pointing about the 2024 election, that's fine. There's plenty of things to be angry with the Democrats about. They've got a lot of work to do. But let's not forget that the biggest problem here, perhaps, is that we are dealing with a group of people who are willing to sabotage the fundamental pillars of our democracy, our economy, the way that the government functions, just to burn everything down and make it look like the Democrats are the ones doing it. Do you remember when we got into the 2020 election? The prevailing wisdom was just like, this has to have been a fluke. Nobody wants to reelect Donald Trump. We're all exhausted.
I agree. The Republicans, MAGA, are willing to burn everything down and not care about us, the people. But what they do, they will blame the Democrats. And it happens all the time. So when he raised these tariffs on people, and American people can't pay for basic things, food, and a place to live, he's going to blame it on the Democrats. But the Republicans have both houses. So how can you blame the Democrats? It happens all the time. I noticed when he was in the House, in the White House, and he won in 2016, him and his pals, the Republicans, MAGA, they did it then. They're going to do it again. They're going to blame the Democrats for the fire being started, which Donald Trump will be the one to start the fire and destroy America. And this is more about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk funded a super PAC with $20 million called the RBG PAC after Ruth Bader Ginsburg and misled American voters about Donald Trump's position on reproductive rights. Not enough people are talking about how it was just disclosed that Elon Musk literally paid $20 million to mislead American voters. So the group at issue is called the RBG PAC. weeks after Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it was formed in mid-October, received a single contribution of $20.5 million from an entity entitled the Elon Musk Revocable Trust just 1 week after it was formed. Because of the reporting deadlines in the election, we didn't learn about this until literally just now. And in the closing weeks of the November election, the RBG PAC ran a TV ad trying to say that Donald Trump, as president, would not sign reproductive rights restrictions. This is arguably one of the most brazen attempts to mislead voters that we've seen in recent memory. Spread the word, and as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
RBG, Ruth, she was always for women's rights. So using her brand, her name, is so wrong, Elon. Why didn't you just name it after you or Trump? Initially after you and Trump. But no, he wanted to mislead the American people, to make the American people think that he and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are all for women's rights. And now you see your rights have been taken away.
Election day was almost a month ago, but since a lot of these races take some time to count, NBC News was finally able to call the last race in the House. Democrat Adam Gray will flip the seat in California's 13th district, winning by a margin of less than 200 votes, which just goes to show you that even if you don't live in a swing state, your vote still matters. This means Republicans will hold a razor-thin majority in the 119th Congress with 220 seats to the Democrats' 215, an even tighter margin than they're used to working with. And it's probably going to get even smaller, at least temporarily, since Trump picked 2 Republican members to serve in his administration. And Matt Gaetz says he will not join the next Congress after his failed bid for Attorney General. Meaning for the first couple of months, House Republicans will only be able to afford to lose just one single vote on legislation.
But what I found out today, DeSantis, the devil DeSantis, decided that he's going to make Donald Trump's attorney, Laura, I can't remember her last name, he's going to make her the senator for Florida. How can you just do that? I never heard anything more insane in my life that you can just do that. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what is about to happen. She has no qualifications to be a senator. So how, dear God, how is this even possible that she will become the senator in Florida because DeSantis is going to appoint her to be? What in the world is that? It makes no sense to me. None. I'm trying to find that video where that was being discussed. Hold on, please. I'm looking for it. Was a video I saved about that, so I'm trying to find it. Well, I don't see it, so I'm just going to go to something else. One moment, please. Thank you all.
Well, here we go. Round 2 of the Trump tariffs are coming around the corner, and American agriculture is going to pay the price. Hey, everybody, my name's Will, and I'm your favorite rural campaign and elections expert. Let's talk about the impact of these tariffs on the American farmer and rancher. No farmer or rancher is going to forget the fact that during Trump's first term, he imposed 25% tariffs across the board on China. This resulted in China retaliating by refusing to buy American agricultural products and going south of the border to Brazil to get those, and that caused American farmers and ranchers to lose over $27 billion in agricultural sales to China. As we stood on the precipice of thousands of small family farms across this country going out of business, being sold in bankruptcy, the Democratic Party stepped in and pressured representatives in Congress and senators in the Senate to put together a bailout bill that saved the American farmer and rancher. Now Trump is doubling down and saying he's going to raise tariffs on China to 60%. You can be guaranteed, as all the studies have shown and as all the experts have said in agriculture, this is going to lead to China retaliating again in the form of reduced purchases of American agricultural products. What many people don't know is that even though China retaliated in the form of $27 billion worth of reduced purchases of American agriculture, The only reason it wasn't worse is because China wasn't in a position to be able to reject more agricultural goods. They had an illness going through their pork population, which made it nearly impossible for them to make up for 100% of American pork exports, and they had very little reserves in the area of row crops, meaning soybeans and corn. But one thing you can say about the Chinese is that they aren't ignorant. They've done a very effective job, number one, of building up their pork populations in their country by eliminating these diseases. And number two, they've done a very effective job of putting away reserves of corn and soybeans. So when Donald Trump comes along and places 60% tariffs on China in his second term, they're going to be much more prepared this time to hit the American agricultural scene much harder than they did the last time. Where are they going to go to do this? Brazil. During the last round of tariffs, Brazil became one of China's largest trading partners. They sold over $60 billion of agricultural goods to China and became one of China's top trading partners in agriculture. As a matter of fact, China spent 36.2% of their export dollars in the area of agriculture in Brazil. According to the National Corn Growers Association and the American Soybean Association, the impacts of tariffs long term, this second time around, during a second Trump administration, would be even more devastating, and they might not ever go away, even when Trump leaves office. There are a couple of reasons for this. The first one being that when we placed tariffs on China during the first Trump administration, they simply retaliated by not buying American agricultural products. This time around, they're barking about putting 60% tariffs of their own on American agricultural products. That would result in a loss of 25 million metric tons of soybean exports and up to 90% of corn exports to China. And what did I mean when I said these problems may not go away when Trump leaves office? It's because this relationship between China and Brazil is just getting cozier and cozier. Brazil continues to tear down massive amounts of the rainforest in their country to make room for more row crops that they are going to sell to China when we place these tariffs on China. And here's the bottom line. Once those sales relationships are built, they're not going to go away just because an American president changes or leaves office. And don't live under the illusion that we'll get another bailout program in this instance. The truth of the matter is that the Democrats not stepped up and put pressure on Republican congressmen and senators to offer a bailout program to farmers during Trump's first term, we would have lost thousands of small family farms around this country. And these subsidies only scratch the surface of the losses that farmers endure. I've got a farmer not far from me here in Missouri, in Arlington, Iowa, that saw the value of his pigs, corn, and soybeans drop by nearly $2 million during the first Trump trade war, and subsidies only accounted for 10% of those losses. This is the other thing you've got to remember. We still don't have a farm bill, and Republicans are pushing back against help for farmers and ranchers in the United States of America because they want to see us pay a larger percentage of our crop insurance, get fewer subsidies for doing the right things like cover planting in non-crop producing areas and during downtime when our crops aren't in the ground. The bottom line is they're just looking at us as another way to reduce the deficit. So we can't be guaranteed that this subsidy program will come into play if Trump puts these tariffs in place and agricultural losses mount to an even higher degree than they did during his first administration.
It's going to happen. It will amount to higher than what it previously was. Again, Trump is not backing down on the idea of the tariffs. No matter what news person interview him and ask him about it, he is sticking to it. And he is insistent on putting tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. And yes, China will continue to do more work with Brazil, because if they're going to be able to get stuff cheaper and there's no higher tariffs on them, they're going to stick with Brazil, and they probably no longer going to F with us Americans because of Donald Trump. It's just that simple. And our farmlands will suffer here in the States, which already China has bought up a good bit of farmland here in America. Yes, they have. Look it up. And that's scary. And this is a little something about the election with Gavin Newsom. He's not letting Donald Trump push him to a corner. He's not backing into a corner and afraid of Donald Trump. He's standing strong in what he believed and what he thought of the election.
Newsom said something yesterday at a press conference at the southern border that really caught my attention. It's more of this drip of information, hinting that they know something. What does it mean? Are we looking too far into it, or are they trying to signal something? Here it is. I want your thoughts on what happened a month ago today. What went wrong? How did Democrats get shown the door so badly? What would you have done differently if perhaps Ms. Harris or Mr. Walsh did not do? I appreciate it. And I hope you can appreciate if I appear a little political, it's because I'm intentionally trying to be by not answering your question. And what I mean by that is I'm with Jon Stewart, who wisely said, be patient. What happened will be revealed. And it won't be revealed in the hours and days and weeks and even months after an election. That will absorb a deeper understanding over time. And that's the approach I'm taking. I wrote out, I'm not making this up, there's about 6 pages I have in notes. There's my mother and dad's grave in the car of everybody's punditry that completely contradicts everyone else's punditry about what happened. And I did that purposely for my own absorption and edification, that it will reveal itself. He says he's intentionally not saying what he knows. What happened will be revealed in time, not immediately. It's going to take time. What do you think he's talking about here? Is it what I'm thinking? Maybe. Maybe it's nothing. But I think it's something. Gavin Newsom said something yesterday at a press conference.
Gavin Newsom, with his handsome self, he knows something that we don't know. I kind of think I know a little bit what he's talking about, and it's pertaining to this past election. Elon Musk happened. Starlink happened. Russia happened. Daddy Putin pulling those strings on Donald Trump, his puppet, happened. That's what happened. And so Donald Trump, he wants to say he's going to send people to the Bahamas. He said he's going to send the migrants to the Bahamas. Okay.
Bahamas just rejected a proposal from Donald Trump's administration to take in migrants that Donald Trump plans to deport in his second term. So the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, just told reporters that his island received a proposal from Trump's transition team to, quote, accept deportation flights of migrants from other countries, end quote. And in response to this proposal, the Prime Minister said the Bahamas has, quote, reviewed and firmly rejected the proposal. Basically, Donald Trump's big plan with his mass deportation program was to send migrants to places like the Bahamas, or as Reuters reports, Turks and Caicos, Panama, and Grenada, should their home countries reject them. The guy didn't even think through this plan. He just campaigned on it. Then he won, and now he has to deliver on his plan. But the islands are rejecting him. I guess it's back to the drawing board for Donald Trump. The Bahamas just rejected.
It's so sad that Donald Trump thinks he can just send the migrants here to another country the people are not even from. It doesn't make sense. They're not from the Bahamas. So how are you just going to send them to the Bahamas? He doesn't think things out because he's not presidential. He's just a man with money that wanted to be president. He got a second term, which starts in January. Elon Musk. I think I played that one already.
So on Sunday on Meet the Press, Trump talked about revoking birthright citizenship so that he can deport entire families. So let's talk about that a little bit. First of all, it is against our Constitution. Okay, we have birthright citizenship here in the United States. He tried to say that we're the only country that has that, but if you look it up, there's about 34 other countries that have it. Okay, so what he wants to be able to do is if one of the parents is here and they're not a citizen, whether the wife or the child could be, 2 months or 17 years old. He wants to be able to deport the entire family. So he's talking about taking a U.S. citizen and deporting them to a country that they've never even been to. He will face legal challenges to that. But it's a problem for the families because they may have very little power or means to fight that. And once he sends them out of the country, it will be hard for them to challenge it. Now, Lindsey Graham has introduced Senate Bill 5223. You can go look it up on congress.gov. And basically, he wants to change birthright citizenship in this country. So many of us have been born in this country, either ourselves or our grandparents came from another country. They weren't citizens, they had children, and their children were citizens. That's the way it works here. And they're looking to change that. And so we'll have to follow this. And so on Sunday on Meet the Press, Trump talked about revoking birthright citizenship so that he...
Elon Musk. Donnie, why don't you revoke Elon Musk? He wasn't born here. Melania Trump was not born here. Send her away. They have no birthrights to this country. Melania.
I didn't realize Elon was still here. What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing with that microphone?
Nothing.
Are you guys?
Yeah.
Really?
Take it easy. Just relax.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but how did this happen?
The love was so crazy.
Okay.
He's a gentleman. A perfect-looking human being.
What?
Better looking than Tom Cruise.
Huh?
It was a little tough at the beginning, remember?
A little bit.
Pounding, then all of a sudden.
Because you got to move both hands simultaneously.
I say, how long can you do it? By the time I finished, we had no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It was quite an experience.
I did not see this coming.
And it is substantial. And it was round.
And growing.
Wow.
Just a big, fat, the equipment, and it's genius.
It's good.
It's great.
For sure.
Okay, but Donald, I am supposed to be First Lady, no?
You don't have to do it.
I don't. So does that mean Elon will be?
The wife of the President of the United States of America.
That's great. I don't really care. I'll leave you guys to it.
Turn the lights off.
No problem. You guys be best. Donald, I didn't realize Elon was still here.
Every day, Elon Musk is behind Donald Trump. Everywhere there's Donny Boy, there's Elon Musk. What is the purpose of Elon Musk around him every day? We don't even see his wife around him like that. It is so strange. What is going on with Elon and Donny? Where is Melania Trump? Even at the Thanksgiving dinner, Melania Trump was not sitting beside her husband. Who was sitting beside Donald Trump? Elon Musk. Strange, just so strange. I would never understand it. Never.
I open my phone and see this.
Get y'all some Trump sneakers.
They make a great Christmas present.
Like, you got
Great
the job.
Christmas
Why are you
gifts.
still doing the grift? Everything is an SNL skit. First, we got you the shoes.
Hit
you
that
could
like
walk a
button,
mile in my
thank you.
shoes. Bars. Then we got you the watches so we could let you know what time it is. Then it was trading cards and NFTs. Now it's a cologne and a perfume, in which we should have named Elon's Musk. No one has ever smelled like this. No one's ever wanted to. Because they couldn't. You simply couldn't know. I'm leaving. I'm gonna find a new country code for my phone number. I'm out. I'm done. Who do you even owe money to at this point that you're gonna pay? Like, let's really talk about it. Where is all this funneled money going? Where's it going? Do you have to pay the quarter B back to the First Lady Elon? Why is everything that he sells from a yard sale? Our next line will be JD Vance pants. They'll be very nice. I'm tired. It's not even a joke. I'll play the rest of the clip here.
Name them fight, because they represent winning. We all want to be winning. We have to win as a nation. We want to win as a family. This fragrance is all about strength and success and confidence for men and for women. Get yourself a bottle and don't forget to grab one for your loved ones too. They'll thank you and they'll even smell good. Enjoy, have fun, keep on winning, and Merry Christmas.
Who wants to smell like Donald Trump? Michael Cohen said, and another one of the people that used to be around Trump, that he got them in trouble as well, said that Donald Trump stinks. He reeks of urine from his depends. And they say he smells like some bad odor of makeup and a mixture of different things. If you buy that cologne, you are sick. It's bad enough you bought those ugly sneakers. Really? They look cheap and they're made in China. What about being made in America, Donnie? These are the people that Donald Trump pardoned. And y'all got a problem with Biden pardoning his lovely son. And these are people with high crimes that Donnie boy pardoned. We'll never forget Michael Flynn, especially Roger Stone, a nutcase. But y'all complain about Biden pardoning his son. Look at the gremlin, Lil Wayne. Oh, God. Don't complain about Biden pardoning his son when Donald Trump pardoned all those horrible men.
I mean, imagine you go all around the world and smash up everything that other civilizations built, loot what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods.
Hit the like
declare
button.
yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine telling this lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go? You didn't invest in creating actual merit. You cheated, you lied, you stole, you brutalized. And then you tell your own people that everyone else in the world has nothing and you have everything because of how much better you are than everyone else. How long is that lie sustainable? I mean, these are people who actually have civilizations, who actually created and built and accomplished and didn't just pillage and plunder. And there's still those people today, even though you have oppressed them, there's still those same people. And you're still the way you are. I mean, a good example actually is African Americans. I don't know if you can think of a people who were more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than African Americans. You took everything away from them and took them away from everything. They started in your country at less than zero, literally regarded and treated as subhuman, not allowed to learn to read or write or anything for hundreds of years. I mean, imagine you go all around the world and smash up everything.
He said a mouthful. And what baffles me about Donnie Boy, he didn't even pick any black people to be in his top of his cabinet. He picked one black guy to be over the urban lead, something to do with the urban lead. He thought that much of black people, which it is some highly educated black people that he could have given positions in his cabinet. But no, he don't like black people. So of course he would not have put them at the top, even though they're more educated than every last one of those people he gave jobs to. Those people he gave the positions to, they are just billionaires and millionaires. He only looked out for the people he owed money, and those are his fellow white people and one foreigner. I guarantee that black guy he gave to be over the urban lead or whatever it is, I guarantee he's more educated than every last one of those white people that he gave a top position. Donnie looks down on blacks. He thinks blacks supposed to have the lower jobs. Like he said, black jobs. He emphasized on black jobs. Blacks have gotten their education. For example, President Obama and Michelle Obama, highly educated. VP Kamala Harris, highly educated.
Elon Musk, keep your grubby, greedy hands off my money. I'm talking my Social Security money that you and Vivek are trying to steal. Republicans say they may cut Social Security. That, according to Senator John Thune, who is the incoming Senate Majority Leader, that's the top guy in the U.S. Senate, which the Republicans are taking over in a few weeks. He said that everything's got to be on the table to cut, including Social Security. This comes on the heels of news of the last couple of days that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are both talking about using their new DOGE Government Efficiency Committee to cut Social Security and Medicare. Here's the problem. Well, you know what? First, let me show you the clip. The media is talking about it. Then I want to tell you what the problem is.
John Thune, who is the Senate incoming Republican leader, who also met with Elon Musk this morning, told me that perhaps mandatory programs are areas that they are looking to make cuts in, like Social Security, for example.
Here's the problem. Yeah, Social Security takes a lot of money, but you know what? It takes our money. We've been paying into it forever. It's not their money. Social Security literally exists. It is a program where you retire and you get a check from the government every month, basically like a salary, income from the government. But it's not government money that's going to you. It's your money. It comes out of your paycheck. Literally every single paycheck you have.
We pay into Social Security.
Medicare is the
that is
program for
our
retirees in this
money.
country, where once you hit age 65, you actually have health insurance paid for by the government. You can pay more and get extra insurance, but basically it's a basic health care. But it's not socialized medicine. You already paid for it for the last 45 years of working. You paid for it. It's your money. And they're cutting it. And what happened was, over the last decades, Republicans and Democrats
Cutting it and putting it in their
have
pockets.
raided the Social Security budget. Instead of keeping that money in a lockbox, like basically, right, we pay with our paychecks, the money should go like almost in a bank account. It should sit there. Nobody can touch it and let it just grow. They used it to buy other things. Among the other things they've been buying, tax cuts. Right? Guys, all these tax cuts we hear about, everybody loves a tax cut, right? I mean, sometimes people say it goes to the rich, not the poor, whatever, but everybody loves a tax cut. Do you know how much these tax cuts cost? The Donald Trump tax cuts that are expiring this year will cost $4 trillion with a T to continue them over the next 10 years. And it's not just Trump's tax cuts. That's what tax cuts do. They cut taxes, less money's going to the government. Now, Republicans will always tell you that, oh no, tax cuts are great because we cut the taxes and it throws money into the economy, and the economy grows and we're able to make even more money off that larger economy, except that it's never worked. It's never happened that way. Every time we've cut taxes, yes, it's been great for you and me, but it's also been terrible for the budget. So that's where we are right now. This is the second story we've heard already today. I've got an earlier video as well of Republicans talking about cutting Social Security. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are also repeatedly, now twice, have talked about cutting Social Security. I got to tell you, hands off my money, Elon. Hands off my money, Vivek. I know you guys are billionaires, so you don't care. But for people like me, even people like me, I'm not a poor guy. People like me, I am relying on Social Security for like half of my retirement income. Okay. And for a lot of people, it's all of their retirement income. We already paid our dues. We already paid our money. Keep your grubby, greedy hands off my money, Elon. Hey, Elon Musk.
It's that simple, Elon. Go back to Twitter, X. Go back to Tesla and do your work and leave the people's money alone. We paid into the system of Social Security and you should not cut it. That is not fair to us everyday working people to put in all this hard work, taking the money out of our checks, each check, and to not receive the benefits of which we should. We should reap what we paid into. But no, what the people don't realize, they're saving those cuts for the billionaires. Elon is a billionaire. Elon gonna make sure, because he's gonna be over the funding for giving a private funding money to businesses. He's going to make sure he gets more of that money because he got over $4 billion of that money. That money is going to go more to the billionaires. We won't receive any of it because they're going to cut it. They're going to cut the benefits for the veterans. My daughter is a veteran. She needs her benefits. They're going to cut those benefits, and they don't give a hill of beans about us everyday people. The terrorists they want us to pay, cutting the Social Security, taking away the benefits of the veterans. They're going to cut y'all welfare, cut your food stamps for them to get richer. Donald Trump became richer in the White House. Donald Trump's daughter and her husband became richer in the White House. Donald Trump pardoned his son-in-law's father. But you had a problem with our boy, President Biden, pardon his son. Why? Why? Your daddy and your mama are bird and your baby too if you got one. Suck on it. Why? I just read your comment. I catch some of it. I don't catch every comment. Why would you want to vote and you put this man back in there coming January and it's going to hurt you and your loved ones? Let's say your father is a veteran. Cut. Let's say your grandmother is dependent on her Social Security. She worked for it. She deserved it. Cut. There's going to be so many homeless people. It is not right. A lot of people don't have family. Where are they going to go? Where? This is my YouTube. If you don't like it, don't come back. I can talk how I want to talk. Thank you. God bless. Where are they going to go? They need those benefits. It is so many homeless people already. We do not need more homeless people. When you talk to a lot of homeless today, a lot of them are veterans. They have nowhere to go. A lot of homeless people, when I give out food and stuff to them and I talk to them, a lot of people had good jobs. And the jobs have been taken away. A lot of people got fired. America is going to see more pain in 2025 due to who y'all voted in there. Each video I showed y'all today is pertaining to things that I'm talking about. I want better for this country. I was praying for opportunity for us to get better as a country. But when 2024 comes and I'm still doing YouTube, I would love to hear some of y'all struggles in my chat. They will come real soon because Elon Musk said it's okay if you struggle. The American people struggle. He almost talks as if we're spoiled, that we don't deserve anything. He feels that you don't deserve your Social Security if you're getting Social Security. He feels you do not deserve your veteran benefits. You do not deserve your Medicaid and Medicare. You do not deserve when you are in hardship and you're receiving food stamps and welfare. You don't deserve it. I don't look forward to life being harder. I pray for the better for all of us. I love each and every last one of y'all. Have a beautiful evening. Goodbye.